Here is how I have been losing body fat consistently and still building a little bit of muscle. Now, before I get into this video, I want to kind of explain what this is. This is called body recomposition, where you can lose body fat and still build some muscle. And it's been long debated in the fitness industry whether it's actually possible to do this, like whether it's actually like physically, even scientifically possible to do this. And in this video, I'm not here just to say whether it is possible or not, but I have been losing body fat. I can see my abs more visibly. I can see like some nice like shoulder like fibers more easily, and I've lost like my waistline's gone down, so I'm losing fat, and my lifts at the gym have gone up. I think if I'm not gaining muscle, I'm at least keeping pretty much all my muscle. So hopefully some of the tips in this video will help you. I'm going to walk you through step by step what I'm doing currently to lose fat and keep/build muscle, right? So yeah, hopefully this helps you if you are someone who is worried about losing all your hard-earned gains. If you've got a holiday coming up and somewhere you need to lose fat quickly, so get straight into it. So the first section of this video is going to be diet related stuff. So the first thing you need to do is you need to calculate your BMR. This stands for basal metabolic rate. And this is how many calories that your body's going to burn. Like if you just sat down doing nothing. Basically, the easiest way to do this is to go onto a BMR calculator, which I'll link in the description below. The one that I use, it's like, I think it's the top thing on Google, to be honest, when you just type in BMR calculator. Put in your weight, your height, age, gender, that kind of thing, and it'll just spit out a number at the end. And put in your exercise level as well, like if you're active, like, or if you just don't do anything. And that number is the amount of food that you can eat and not gain or lose weight. And it's not exactly 100% accurate, but it's a nice kind of direction to go in, right? It's a nice ballpark figure. It's better to have that than nothing. And then I just track my calories and make sure that I'm either eating that amount or eating slightly under that amount. And that brings me on to the second part of the video, which is you need to be in a calorie deficit. You physically can't lose fat if you're in a surplus. Or I don't think it's possible anyway, based on what I've researched and stuff. I don't think you can possibly do it. So you need to be in a calorie deficit. Now, this is the important part that I want you to remember. You want to be in like a 100 to maybe 300 calorie deficit maximum. If you go on a huge deficit, right? You want to lose a ton of fat and you're like, fuck it, I'll just go into like a 500 or 1,000 calorie deficit. Like you're eating 1,000 calories less than that BMR number that we talked about. You're going to lose a fuck ton of weight and you're definitely going to lose muscle. You're definitely not going to grow muscle, right? It's just too little amount of calories. Your body goes into panic mode. It thinks it's starving to death and it starts eating away at your muscle. So a 100 calorie deficit is quite small. It's going to take longer to lose fat. But I think in this calorie deficit, if you can extend the time frame and be patient, then you can probably build some muscle, right? And I'm going to walk through my kind of armchair bro science theory on why this might work in a little bit. So what we're going to do is then this is step 3, which is protein. We need to bias our body towards being a muscle building protein synthesis factory or a fat burning factory. And protein synthesis is when your body takes proteins that you eat and turns it into muscle mass. It's like, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the basic idea of it. And when you're in a calorie deficit, your body's like, oh shit, we're gonna die. So it starts to take calories from your fat stores. This is called autophagy, or more specifically lipophagy, when your body actually specifically burns fat. Autophagy means your body can actually kind of just burn anything, muscle and fat. So we want to basically say to our bodies, when we're in a calorie deficit, please only burn the fat and don't burn any of the muscle, okay? So we're trying to get our body into that kind of scenario. And this is kind of armchair theory, bro science stuff, right? But if you eat a fuck ton of protein and you train very hard, the training section of this video is going to be after I've talked about this, and you train very hard with the method that I'm going to talk to you about, then I think that will put your body into a state of thinking, right, we need to keep all the muscle that we've got because we're getting the pressure put on us and the expectations put on us consistently to keep this muscle. And we've got enough protein to keep it. So that's going to put your body into a state of prioritizing burning fat. Now, the easiest way I found to do this is for your protein, you want to take your body weight in kg. So I weigh about 74 kg and times it by between 1.8 to 2.2. So you may as well just do 2.2, it's more protein. So for me, it would be about 150 grams of protein a day that I need to eat, going off of that logic. So that's a simple way you can do it. Just take your body weight, in kg, times it by 2. That's how much protein you need to eat. And then an even easier way of doing this is to just change to the diet model that I'm on, which is pretty much keto or very low carb. And I pretty much just eat meat and fat. The fat is important for testosterone production, and I don't eat carbs for other reasons other than just the gym, but it helps me to concentrate, focus, be able to work on this business, be able to record videos, right? So that's why I don't have carbs. So that might not be something you necessarily need to do, but I think being on keto, getting your body into a state of ketosis is a great way to bias your body towards lipophagy, which is fat burning, rather than overall muscle and fat burning. Because remember, the whole point of this video is we want to lose fat, but keep/build muscle. So we need to say to our body, please only burn the fat. And there's studies you can look up, there's articles that I've read and podcasts I've listened to, a lot of Jordan Peterson's podcasts, talking about how the ketogenic diet, or even more specifically the carnivore diet, is very, very good at biasing your body to only burning fat, lipophagy, okay? Rather than overall kind of cell destruction in the body. So that's the diet covered. Hopefully that made sense. And now I'm going to talk to you about exercise. Okay, so training, the most important thing to remember when training is progressive overload. This is something that I've put a huge focus on even while being on a cut. And from doing that, from focusing on progressively overloading, I've managed to actually improve my lifts. Even though I'm in a deficit, I'm losing body fat, I'm improving my lifts, right? I'm lifting more weight than I ever have done before, which leads me on to believe that maybe it is possible to actually build muscle and lose fat. This is my experience, right? I'm not a scientist. I'm just telling you that I have been lifting more than I ever have done. I've improved my bench press more. I've improved my tricep push downs. I've improved shoulder press. I've improved all my back row movements. Every lift I do at the gym is gradually going up, but I'm losing fat. I'm not on a bulk. I'm in a deficit. So maybe it is possible for this body recomposition thing, maybe like early on in your fitness journey, maybe not later on when you're already shredded or something, right? But yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. Like, I think it might be possible just from what I'm seeing personally. So yeah, progressive overload. I use an app called Strong, which allows me to put all the exercises in and like track the weight and the reps and stuff, which means that I can always progressively overload. Because if I go to the gym and I see that, okay, I'm doing bench press, this is what I did last time I did this, and this is what I'm going to do now. There'll be some days where I go in and I'm like, I just can't hit it, right? I maybe had poor sleep, maybe I've not eaten enough food, not drank enough water. And then there'll be some days where I absolutely smash my previous and I'm like, what the fuck, how did I do that, right? And I'm always hitting like these PRs. The other day I went to the gym with my mate. That's another little bonus tip as well. Try to go to the gym with someone and train with someone. You're going to notice that you're going to be able to hit PRs a lot more easy. And I was doing the bench press and I managed to, I did the 35 kg dumbbells, which I'd never done before. Managed to get 7 reps, which I was like, what? How did I get 7 reps with that, right? Did like 3 sets of, I did 7, and then 6. And then my mate was like, Joe, why don't you go for the 40 kg dumbbells? And I was like, what? No, don't be stupid, mate. I've only just done the 35s. And I did it and I got them up. He helped me get them up and I did 2 reps. So only 2, right? It's nothing. But the 40 kg dumbbells, so that's 40 in each hand. That's quite heavy for me, right? That's a lot. For a guy who only weighs like 74 kg, I think that's actually pretty impressive. This is on incline bench as well. Just wanted to throw that in there. So yeah, I'm hitting PRs, it's good. So you need to really focus on progressively overloading. You need to focus on lifting more than you did the last session. Step 5, you need to train consistently. I'd say at least 4 times a week, which is about what I'm doing. I try and go 5 times a week, but realistically 4 times a week. If I could go every day, I would, but there's some days where I just can't. Probably because I'm on a cut, right? If I was on a bulk right now, I'd probably have more energy to do it. But yeah, 4 times a week. Why do we want to go consistently? Because we need to constantly remind our body, like, by the way, don't get rid of any of this muscle because we're in a cut right now. So we're technically like, our body's like, kind of starving to death here, mate. And you've got to be like, yeah, I know we're starving to death, but just don't get rid of any of the muscle. So you've got to constantly go to the gym and give your body an excuse. Like, it's got to have a reason to keep that muscle, right? Otherwise, it's just like, well, we're starving to death, but we've got loads of muscle. Like, let's get rid of it, right? It's better to survive. So you need to constantly give your body a reason, like a justification to be holding on to muscle. So just go consistently. Last tip I'm going to give you is we need to focus on hypertrophy, which is a form, this is basically building muscle, right? And there's lots of different types of training. There's strength training and there's hypertrophy training. And strength training is like really low reps and high weight, kind of like what I did with the 40 kg dumbbells. But what I would suggest is actually to not do that. I would say don't do the kind of training where you're doing like super heavy squats and these really heavy compound movements and all these like big exercises that really take it out of your like deadlifts. I wouldn't do those kind of strong strength training exercises where you do like 3 or 4 or 5 reps. Why? Because those are going to exhaust like your entire nervous system and not necessarily going to build a ton of muscle. They're going to like be very good for improving your resistance and your overall strength, like your fast twitch muscle fibers. But if you want to actually keep the muscle or build muscle while you're losing fat, you need to do a much higher rep range. So you need to do like maybe 10, 12, 15, 20 reps where you get more of a pump, like Arnold used to say. Go like sort of chase the pump a bit more, because remember, we're in a deficit here, right? We're losing fat. Our body isn't in a position to be doing these super heavy compound movements. So what I would suggest is focus on more isolated exercises like the bicep curl or the preacher curl, where you kind of get your arm on a bench and curl upwards like that. And it's kind of nothing else can cheat. It's just kind of you and your bicep, like exercises like that, or the bench press with dumbbells. I use dumbbells. I'm going for like a pump, like really trying to get as many reps as possible, training to failure, right? We're just constantly trying to really pump our muscles full of blood. Likelihood is you're like me, on the similar level to me. So I reckon, mate, you can probably build a little bit of muscle, kind of use your existing fat stores to help fund that muscle. You could think of it like that. But yeah, I'm not a scientist. I don't know if it's like scientifically possible or not, but what I've found is you could certainly keep muscle and at least hit PRs whilst losing body fat. So yeah, that was about it, mate. That's all the value I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and got some value out of it. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, mate. Bye.